Hi, welcome back to my channel. Am I the a-hole for telling my little sister that since I'm married now, we aren't immediate family anymore? My wife and I, both 23, got married 3 months ago. Courthouse wedding because we're both broke. I have a little sister, 10 female, who really looks up to me. And lately has been wanting to spend more time with me, which is fine. She's an awesome kid. So I try to make time when I can. Anyway, my wife is in the hospital for a few days last month because her appendix decided to shit the bed. She's fine, but it was scary for a bit. My sister really likes my wife as well and had asked if she could come visit her with me. I explained that no, that they only allowed one visitor and it had to be immediate family only. She asked why she wasn't considered such, since they're sisters-in-law, but she doesn't call her that. I explained that once we got married, our old immediate family became our extended family. That's not true. That's not how that works. Okay. It's just that she wouldn't be your wife's immediate family, or would she? Would she be considered that? So I don't think this person quite understands how immediate family works. That's okay. Like our cousins. No, your cousins are not immediate family. Our only immediate family is each other. That's not true. And any children we eventually have. No, your parents and your siblings are still considered your immediate family. That really upset her. She started asking if I really only saw her like a cousin now. I said no, but she is my priority now, not her or our parents. Now she's not talking to me, and our parents think I could have handled it better. I really don't think that's true, but I could be wrong. Yeah, you fucking could have. Update. So yeah, I fucked up. I see that now. I feel like shit and deserve to because I'm glad someone pointed it out to you then. Good. Because that was such a hurtful thing to say to her. Even worse is that I was stubborn enough to not apologize for her sake. She is not speaking to me. I mean, she's fucking 10. Jesus, you're an adult. I mean, barely 23. Yeah, I mean, you're an adult technically, but your brain's still developing until you're about 24, 25. She's still not speaking to me, so I wrote a note to deliver to my parents for her. I owe them an apology too. Sister, I'm so sorry that I said what I said to you. It was wrong, and you are right to be angry as you are. You're still my sister no matter what happens, and that won't change. And I'm sorry that I let you think otherwise. I love you as much as I ever did. And we're still family and always will be. I don't expect her to get over it quickly, if at all. But that's my fault. Oh, that's so sad. Let's read some comments because, people are going to call this guy the asshole. You are the asshole. I explained that once we got married, our old immediate family became our extended family. This isn't true. Yeah, exactly. It isn't true. Your parents will always be your parents and your siblings will always be your siblings. Spouses can get divorced. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter the truth about her father? I got pregnant in college when I was 19. Her father was in the same position. Prior to doing the deed, I told him if anything were to happen, I would not be getting an abortion. He said he understood. All right, you know where your position is. That's good. When I got pregnant, he refused any contact with my baby or responsibility. That sucks. He took things further by telling my friends and his family that I planned the pregnancy to trap him, so they wouldn't judge his actions. This was untrue. He paid mandatory child support, but it wasn't much. It was hard, but I love my daughter and wouldn't change a thing. She's wonderful and smart as the whole world. He reached out to me on Facebook saying he wants to be in his daughter's life again. He's married now. I did some stalking online. Gotta love that, do a little stalking online. Who are you? Where are you? Who are you hanging out with? And his wife has frequently posted about their infertility struggle. I was against it because he has had no part of her life. And it was me who had to drop out of college, work 2 jobs, endure sleepless nights as a baby and raise her. It was me that kept her belly full, kept her warm. He didn't give a shit. It was me that endured my friends turning against me and his family's harassment at the judgment of society for being a young mom. And now that he won't be sacrificing his younger years. Now he's finished partying, and now he's got his degree and job and his wife, and can't give him kids to complete his picket fence life, he wants the kid I raise for him, knowing he doesn't really have to do any work other than pick her up from now and then. Here's the shitty fact about that. He pays child support. He is entitled. He is the other parent. As bad of a parent as he has been, it doesn't matter. Unless you can prove that he is being neglectful or that he is being abusive in some way, and even then, that's really hard to prove, or that he would just be awful to be around. And honestly, how old is this child? So, I mean, is she still young or whatever? I told him my thoughts and he got mad, saying that I chose to have the baby, not him, which tipped things over for me. I asked him to prove that he thought about her. E.g., example, a college fund he's paid into for a while with her in mind, car money. He did not. Which again proved to me that he only gave a shit when he couldn't make more kids. I mean, that might be true, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, I think you're kind of the asshole in this situation, even though you're not at the same time. This one's a hard one. I spoke to my daughter, but I told her the other types of person her father is. That should be her decision. That you shouldn't try to prevent a relationship between a parent and their child, unless they are abusive or harmful in some way. She should have the opportunity to have a relationship with him. Even though he wasn't around until now, he wants to have a relationship with her, and it's up to her, really, ultimately, if she wants to try to have a relationship with him, and you should try to facilitate that regardless. This isn't about you. This is about her. And I think this puts, and I'm not saying you're the bad guy. I understand he's kind of a jerk, right? He's also the asshole. I told her he has nothing for her, and I was honest about the fact that his wife is infertile, so he is reaching out. I told her everything and reiterated basically everything I said in the post. I told her to think about it. But you're poisoning her against him now. That's the way he was, and I don't think that's fair for you to poison your daughter against him now. You don't know who he is now. You gathered some information off of Facebook, but you don't know him as a person now. People do deserve the opportunity to change and grow, even him. Even though I get why you're mad at him, but even him. I told her to think about it. I said I'd support her knowing him, but I affirmed he is not a nice person and his intentions are not where we would want. Yeah, but she gets to discover that for herself. That's the thing. And it looks like she's older, like an older teenager. Haven't got there yet. She chose not to know him. After I informed him, he got mad. He said I ruined his chance to know her and that I'm denying her a father. I told him he was the one that did that. My mother told me I shouldn't have poisoned his image to her. I agree with your mother. That she probably feels rejected all over again, and she's probably hurting. I now feel like I have done wrong by her. Am I the asshole? Edit, she is 16 now. Yeah, she's old enough to make that decision for herself. You should have just said your dad wants to know you. And it's up to you whether or not you want to visit with him, and just leave it at that. I don't think you should have gone into great detail because it's based on your experience with him 16 years ago. It's not based on his current self today. Edit 2. If it wasn't for the infertile wife and lack of college fund or car money, showing evidence that he had at least thought about her, he probably did. That's not the only ways you can think about your child. He could have thought about her. You don't know what's in his head. I don't like when people do this. And I probably wouldn't have said anything to her, but about what he is like. But to me, those are red flags. Yeah, that's okay. You're the asshole. And in my opinion, you are. So let's go read some comments, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks this. Okay. Oh, there's people that are defending her. Okay, so not the asshole. You protected your daughter from a potentially traumatizing or harmful situation. I disagree. I disagree that it could be traumatizing or harmful, because she didn't give any evidence of that. And she's a 16-year-old daughter. She's not a 6-year-old daughter. That's a very different thing. I mean, do you think he's going to hit her? or emotionally abuse her in some way. I don't think you should be able to do that. It is not one, yeah, it is one thing for him to give up parental rights and for it to remain that way, but that he's doing is treating her like it's some sort of trend of the month. The thing is, it doesn't matter why he learns what he missed all these years, and that will hurt him, you know. And I think people deserve a second chance sometimes, unless there are exceptions. Of course, there's always exceptions, but I do think we should allow people to learn and grow. So I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm sure people are going to disagree with me, but that's okay. You're allowed to disagree with me because my opinion is not the only opinion, you know? Am I the asshole for choosing not to pay for my daughter's university fees despite paying for her brother's? Me, 57 male, daughter, Jane, 21 female, has recently been accepted to the university of her choice. Now, me and my wife, 55-year-old female, are glad with this news. The only thing is that Jane got accepted to do an English degree. Now, Jane, compared to her two brothers, Mark, 28, and Leo, 30 male, was quite late in applying to university. When me and my wife asked her to start at 18, she claimed that she was not ready and wanted to have a little rest. Yeah, she's allowed to have a rest. Going out with friends and traveling the whole of last year with her boyfriend. Yeah, as she should be able to do. It should be noted that I supplied Jane with all the money needed for her little rest. Okay. Now me and my wife have nothing against Jane doing what she did. She's young, and young people live to explore and do what they do. However, before me and my wife allowed for Jane to do her thing, we made her a promise that when she did apply to university, it was for a degree that was worth it. Nope. You don't get to choose what degree is worth it. She gets to choose that. Jane was going through a weird phase where she wanted to be many things. Yeah, she's allowed. And we're more on the creative side. Fast forward a year later, we found out Jane got behind her backs and applied for an English degree. She just applied for an English degree. Both Leo and Mark took medical degrees. Yeah, because she's not going to be a doctor. Therefore, her degree isn't worth it. That's so toxic. Well-paid doctors. You can be well-paid with an English degree too. Like it does happen. You can be an editor. There's a lot you can do with an English degree. One would think that this would motivate Janet, maybe he wrote Janet, not Jane, to go to the same path, but instead she decided to be herself. Wow. Jane, if you're watching, I know you're not, you deserve better, girl. I sat down Jane last night and told her that if she decided to go through with an English degree, I would not support her at all, and that she would have to take out all her student loans. At this, she began crying, claiming that I was the worst dad ever, and had always favored her brothers over her because I had paid for their university fees. Now, this is totally incorrect. I did literally pay for her travel all of last year. But how much was that compared to university? I bet you it wasn't as much. My sons think that I am being too harsh. Yeah, they're right. And that I should simply support Jane regardless of what she chooses. But is it too much to ask for my daughter to follow through with an actual useful degree? Yeah, because this is her life. It doesn't matter what you want. You're not living her life. Edit. No, my daughter's year of travel does not add up to her brother's tuition fees. Not even close. That's what I thought. For those wondering, I work as a cardiologist. Dude, you got the money. Don't be a stingy bitch. Don't be a stingy bitch, because you are. Me not wanting my daughter to do an English degree is not because I'm sexist, but because I want her to do something useful. That's not up to you, sir. Which she can live off instead of depending on me the rest of her life. She won't. She'll be able to get a job. And don't pay for her for the rest of her life. That's how you do that. Pay for her college, and then after college, she gets a job. It doesn't matter what she works as. It's her decision. I don't even know if this is something she really wants to do or if it's another way of trying to rebel against me. Let's go to a couple of comments though, because Reddit has deemed this guy the asshole. So you are the asshole. If it was because you paid an equal amount for her travels as her brother's education, I would say you're not the asshole. And I would agree with that. If you're like, it cost $100,000 for them to go to college and she spent $100,000 in 1 year traveling, then fair, because you gave them equal amounts of money, but you're withholding it because you don't think what she wants is valuable, but it's valuable to her. So you're not valuing what she finds value in. Because she chooses a degree you disapprove of, you're punishing her. Also, I have an English degree. So, sure, I don't earn as much as a doctor, but I've been a librarian for 10 years and I have helped thousands of people. My pay is enough to keep me housed, fed, and comfortable. Edit. Opie has admitted the daughter is the black sheep of the family because she's always gone against family norms. Imagine calling a family member a black sheep when all they wanted to do was study grammar. Yeah. I would like to start by saying that I appreciate all the comments that were given, however unpleasant they were. I hope you felt very unpleasant, sir. They helped me understand that I was in the wrong, and some provided me with the advice on what I should do if I wanted to keep in contact with my daughter. Exactly, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to drive your kid away from you, and then she won't have a relationship with you. So if her picking the right degree is more important than her herself, dude, that's toxic. But I'm glad you came around. I realized that I was living too much in the past and I wasn't taking into consideration how much things have changed in the past 30 years. My father worked as an artist painting and had little to no business. And the other things that saved my family from absolute poverty was my mother working in a supermarket. I guess I was afraid of such things happening to Jane. Now, I hadn't talked to Jane about her degree until last Thursday. I brought the topic up. She confessed to me that she was ready to take one of the degrees I had recommended to her. I told her there was no need to, and she looked at me as if I was playing a cruel joke. I reassured her that I was being serious, and she began crying due to happiness. I realized that I may have been favoring my sons due to their obedience to follow what I asked of them, and was punishing Jane for being herself rather than fitting into whatever I decided to make of her. Jane will be attending Oxford Uni later in the year to take her degree, and the relationship between us has never been better. Good. Glad this guy came around. This is good. That means this guy is so entrenched in his ways and that he can't see his own flaw. I'm highly appreciative of all the comments on my previous posts. They helped me see how much I was prioritizing financial gain over my daughter's well-being, something which should have never been a question in the first place. And so this is a comment. This is what I love to see. Assholes taking the judgment they've been given and deciding to change for the better rather than stay stubborn. Wish you and your daughter the best, OP. Me too. Yes, I think it's great. We're going to end on that because that is amazing. And I'm so glad for this father and this daughter that their relationship is not going to be broken over this, and that they're closer than they ever were before. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a like. Thank you so much.